Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. I'm here with Jennifer Lowe of DLC, Dominion Lending, Modern Mortgage Group. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
So I'm just going live here on Instagram. Awesome. I got it to work. Okay. So the other day you sent me an email and it was just explaining about affordability. I'm finding right now a lot of my clients are waiting until they actually get the interest rates lowered before they decide to buy, which I think is a mistake. And the reason why I think that's a mistake is because right now there's going to be less people in the buyer market. And as we go through the spring, we're going to hit more listings, but we're also going to be in competition with more people. So I'm just wondering if you want to share what you sent me and just explain why it might be less expensive for people to actually purchase now than it will be to wait when there's more competition.
So I was at a presentation, and me sending you the email. I was at a presentation last week put on by one of the lenders I work with very regularly called RMG. And what was great about the presentation was that it's something that I always wanted to know the numbers behind, but had never really um, uh, seen it in real life. That when you've got higher interest rates, but lower price point, is that, or is it not better to buy at that point versus higher house prices and lower interest rates? And this chart that we'll share.
I can share it.
Okay.
Oh, you just took it down.
Oh,
That's okay. I'll grab it. There we go. Can you see it?
perfect. Okay. So what we're looking at in this comparison here is looking at scenario number one, purchase price in March of 2022. So just before interest rates started going crazy, where houses, looking in Victoria, for example, the price point was quite high versus where it is today. Looking at purchase price of $959, your minimum down payment would be $770, $972. You've got your mortgage amount, your insurance premium, giving you your total mortgage of $924. In March of 2022, the interest rate at that time was approximately 5-year fixed rate was 3.19%. So then what you're seeing, the key piece there is what's your mortgage payment. Based on that purchase price and mortgage amount, it'd be $44.65 a month. And after 5 years having your mortgage, the balance after the end of the 5 years is $792,905. So if we compare that to today, for example, we've got an interest rate, a 5-year fixed rate of around 5.09%. That same house arguably could be $757, where your benefit is that your minimum down payment is less. So that would be $50,727. Your mortgage amount is, to be exact, $189,000 less for that same house.
182.
100, yes, pardon me.
Oh, plus the insurance.
But yeah. Mind you, the CMHC premium is less, right? Because your mortgage amount is less. So you've got a lower mortgage, higher interest rate, but a lower payment, and the balance at maturity is significantly lower as well.
Yeah. It's
So
interesting. I think so over the long run, you're going to save 141,000 if you had a maturity, so that would be 25 years or something?
Yes. Yeah. That balance at maturity. So that's after the 5 year, first 5 year term.
Oh, first 5-year term. Okay, it's not
Yeah.
maturity of the whole mortgage, it's
Yep.
maturity of the term.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So it's better to uh, date the rate, right? And just buy the house. Because this is
Uh,
what
yeah.
we're learning
Waiting
here.
for rates to come down, you're going to see house prices are going to come up. So that
Right.
classic supply and demand.
Right. So what's your feel on the market right now? My thought is that it feels like it's really bumping along right at this exact moment.
I've had lots of clients come back to me that haven't heard from in a number of months because they got scared. Interest rates were going up and up and up. And now it's in the news. Rates are expected to start coming down this year. And so now they want to get back in. And my message to those people is buy before everyone else does.
Okay, so I have a question regarding those rate announcements. How does that information get into the public domain that there may be or may not be interest rate changes? Is it something that the government releases, like here, or is it just what people who watch the market are saying? I know it's related to things like bonds and other stock markets and stuff like that.
I mean, social media. I mean, that's right. Like through social media, myself, I'm always posting, the next Bank of Canada rate announcement is January 24th. And what that means is that the Bank of Canada will decide whether they want to change their overnight lending rate, which confirms for variable rate mortgage holders, which is a bit of a myth. It's not for all mortgage rates. This is specific for variable rate mortgage holders. How that will affect their borrowing, their current mortgage. So people that want to wait for rates to come down, they're also watching potentially house prices going up.
Right. So, right now, obviously, there's like two major products that you sell. One is a fixed rate and one is a variable rate. So, in the fixed rate, um, they're going to have the same rate year over year, let's say for a 5-year term. In a variable rate, they're going to go up and down. One of the things that's happened is a lot of people went into variable rate during COVID because it was like so incredibly,
1.45%.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I always figured we were on borrowed time. I'm like, buy, buy, buy.
Yes.
It's cheap.
Well, and
It's cheap.
that's what happened, right? People were buying, people were paying, unfortunately, over asking, hundreds of thousands over asking at that time. And now rates have gone up so much.
Right.
What will be interesting in the coming months is right now we're in a time where the variable rate is actually higher than a 5 year fixed rate. And usually it's the opposite. So that's not going to last. It's just a matter of when that switch happens.
So when that happens, what I'm thinking is the variable rate is higher because the bank is betting that the fixed rate is going to go down. And so they want people, sorry, the variable rate is going to go down. So they want people to buy into the fixed rate at the moment because then it will follow the variable, right?
Yes. And the challenge with that is what happens is then once the variable rate does start dropping, people want to get out of their fixed rate, but they can't because the penalty at that point in time will be significant and will make it hard to get out of.
Okay, so let's go over pros and cons of fixed versus variable. So fixed rate You're gonna have one rate. You're gonna know. I have a client who signed up for 10 years. I think she was working with you. She got like
Yes.
3.3% for 10 years. She was just thrilled. So she's set for like basically half of the term of her mortgage overall.
Yeah.
And then, but if you're trying to get out, it's differential rate. So if they get in now, or like the kind of punishment is going to be what? So
Well,
let's
just going back to the our mutual client there. So the interesting thing was at that time when she was inquiring about the 10-year fixed rate, it was what you're paying such a premium to have that guarantee. So the concept by having like a 5-year fixed rate or even going up, you can get a 7 or a 10-year fixed rate, is that you're paying a premium to have that guarantee of knowing what your payment is going to be for that fixed time period.
yeah,
But right now, what we're seeing and dealing with is variable rates are higher, and you don't have that guarantee.
right. So they're trying to push people into fixed rates.
Yes,
So
and
what's the
then
penalty on a fixed rate? Let's say you have a 5 year and it's what was it here on this sheet? It's 5.09%. So
mhm.
it's what's how do
Interest
you
is
figure out
called
the
a
penalty?
interest. It's the greater of an interest rate differential penalty, which looks at the posted rate at the time, takes the discount that you received off of that posted rate, and determines your penalty from that, versus a 3-month interest penalty. And the 3-month interest penalty is basic, simple 3 months of interest, but you're dealing with an unknown penalty. It could be
$30,000.
$20,000. It could be $3,000.
Yeah, and just for each of those, can you like if you're selling, can you port this to your new property, both types of mortgages?
Depends on the lender. It's not be all end all, but most, yes, fixed rates, most lenders, 100% you can port your mortgage to the new property. Variable rate, it does depend.
Hmm. Hmm. So the other question is assuming a mortgage. There are lots of people who had awesome rates of like 1.75%. And let's say they owed, this happened on a property recently, they owed like 524,090 cents. And so the buyer comes in and I'm like, well, you might be able to assume this mortgage, which means take it over. First of
Mhm.
all, is there any risk to the first owner of that mortgage that if the second buyer defaults, if there is there any risk to the first? No.
No,
Okay, so
I
they
mean, they're
assume
taking, yeah. In the over 20 years I've been in this industry, I have never, ever, ever done an assumable mortgage. So
yeah,
many
because
things have to align.
right, you have to have the exact amount of money. You can't
Yeah.
blend it with another mortgage.
Yes.
Like there's a lot of if, ands,
Your
or
down
buts.
payment have, like, you have to have, more than likely they've built up a lot of equity in the home. So does the new buyer have that down payment available? It's it's never worked out. Lots of people do inquire to know and want to know if their mortgage is assumable, but I've never actually seen one through.
Right. Okay, so what do you recommend people do right now?
Well, if you're on the fence and you're waiting for rates to come down, my recommendation would be to get a pre-approval in place. Look at your affordability at this point now, to see if it works for you.
Right, and pre-approval means you don't go to a banking app and put your numbers in. It means you actually you submit an application.
Yes, yes, yeah. Pre-approval means I'm going over your income documents, I'm doing a credit check, and we're getting a rate hold from a lender.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. How do people get in touch with you if they want to meet up with you?
Yeah. My number is 250-217-4925. And email is j.lowe@dominionlending.ca. And you can check out my website as well at jenlowe.ca. Stay tuned for the rate announcement on January 24th.
Exactly. I'm telling all my clients to wait. Okay. My name is Jane Johnston. I'm with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. My email is briarhillgroup@gmail.com. And you can look at these videos and more at thebriarhillgroup.com or at victoriarealestateshow.com. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at realtyteacher_Remax_Victoria. And we've actually just got a new Instagram this week called Briar Hill Group. So please follow us.
I'll have to check it out.
Okay. And if you know anybody who might find this interesting, please send this video. I think it is great information, which is why we're just doing a little special aside here. And my dog, see her? He wants to go outside. Right.
Waiting patiently. Well, you
Thank
can't
you.
see mine. Mine are sleeping all around me, actually, at my home office here.
And if you guys are watching this on a replay and you guys want more information like this, just short little videos, just put in #replay and put in a topic that you want information on. We'll bring on a speaker. All right. Take care.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.